And on the 8th day, God looked down on his planned paradise and said, I need a caretaker. So God made a farmer.
Howdy folks, Darren back with you here at Cross Timbers Farm. Welcome to 8th Day Chronicles. Glad to have you with us today. Beautiful day, 85 degrees currently. 85 degrees is still hot for this area, but it is a welcome break from the heat wave we've been having of 90s. Second week of July, we're ready to cut our test plot. We're scheduling our cuts for our hay this year to get a minimum of 3 cuts off of our test plot. And the growth rate is matching that. We got a very late start. We were hoping to get 4 cuts off the test plot this year. It may be just 3. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out a little later in the summer with whatever rainfall we get and how the test plot regrows. And the regrowth of that test plot is largely dependent upon rainfall. How much rain are we going to get? That's yet to be seen. Only God in heaven above knows that answer. So we're just going to trust in him and cut today. The test plot is ready. Some of the hay that on our first cut that had not seed headed, that was a little later to seed head, is now seed heading, coming out into the some of it's seed headed already into the seed head stage. Some of it is still in the boot stage, but the majority has already done, at the first cut, done its reproductive growth. So no seed heads, it's just leafy vegetable matter. Very, very leafy orchard, fescue, and timothy, and a lot of red clover. It's ready. It needs cut now. The vegetative matter has really filled out since we've started getting some more rain again. It's filled out really nicely. It's really thick. Your second and subsequent cuttings, you don't see that high volume like you do in the first cutting. It's a lower growing, but it's grown really thick, and you talk about prime A1 top shelf hay, this will be it. This will be fantastic. Plus the third cutting. We're looking really forward to what we get off this test plot. It's not going to be nothing like the 18 bales we got from first cutting. I can already tell you that. This is going to be your typical second cutting for this size plot. About 3/10 of an acre. Done some measuring on our test plot since first cutting, and back in the winter we added an extension to it, and it's not quite 4/10 of an acre. It's about 0.35 of an acre, which is not much. So we're going to cut this evening and hoping to maybe get 8 bales. We'll see. However much we get off this, and it's going to be premium hay, is just adding to our tally for second cut. The test plot is where we learn and do different things to our soil, frost seeding, fertilizing, stuff like that. And what we get off this test plot is very valuable hay to us, but what we learn from it is even more valuable, because we carry that on to our other hay fields. So it's a very small plot, 3.35 of an acre, and we're going to cut it this evening. Since it's so small, we can cut it pretty quick, and we're going to wait until 6 p.m. to cut this. We're going to wait until the sugars and starches are at their highest. We don't have to start cutting earlier because it's a larger amount of acreage to be able to get done by midnight. We can start late and finish early. This is a very small plot. We can mow it quickly. So because of that, we're going to wait till pretty late to cut it and ted it out tomorrow morning. So we're going to cut this test plot a little later. We're going to wait as long as we can. Between now and then, it's about 4 p.m. We got a couple hours. We've got some storage sheds on the back side of our barn that we store hay into. They were previously used as movable goat sheds, and we now use them for hay storage. They're movable. They're in the way where they are right now for second cutting on our main hay field, so we're going to get the Honda Foreman ATV. First, we got to get the pallets out of them, then we're going to hook the Foreman to them and pull them down the hill out of the way for second cutting. So come along with us as we do a few chores, and stick with us because we'll be back very shortly to start mowing our test plot. So let's get started cutting this test plot. It looks really good. It should make some very high-end premium hay as long as the weather cooperates with us. test plot's mowed. Second cut on the test plot. It's done. Everything ran smooth. That's some good hay. Anytime you're talking any cuts after first cut, subsequent cuts, second, third, fourth, however many you get, there's usually not the volume's not there like it is that first cut. I hope we get 8 bales off this little test plot. One thing that about this test plot, we extended it back in the winter to go another 0.15 of an acre. So it's only 0.35 of an acre, very little. But down at the bottom down there, man, I'm telling you, when I'm mowing down through there, there's a light pole in the middle of this. The power line right away runs through the middle of this test plot. And down toward the bottom of it, we have to go around that light pole and then go to the bottom. And when you get down to the bottom, you have to turn to come back up. And man, it gets steep down there. There was a time or two when I was making a turn that I pushed the clutch in and shifted down to a lower gear. It was doable, but you have to be careful on it. If you went through there just recklessly, haphazard, wide open, that'd be a dangerous spot. Recognizing the dangerous spots in your field, recognize them and slow down. This is the first year mowing that down there, and this is only the second time. And both times when I went to the bottom down there to around that light pole to turn, it was had to slow way down and gear down and be mindful of the weight shifting because it's pretty steep. But it's all cut, and it's time to get this drum mower blowed off and cleaned up and parked, and we'll hopefully get into some head this out tomorrow, and if the weather holds and everything goes well, we'll be baling in a few days, and we'll bring you back for that. Thanks for being with us. We'll bring you back as we ted and rake and bale. Although there's not a lot to show raking this little test plot, it rakes so fast that it's not hardly worth getting the camera out for it. It goes by so fast you get very little footage. So we'll at least bring you back for some tedding and the baling. God bless you and your family, and hope y'all have a fantastic evening.